Hey guys, welcome to the shop. I'm Rick, the honest mechanic, and today we are going to modernize the Big Bear. It's good to have you home again. Wait a minute, that sounded a little bit too much like Bob Vila. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. Today's episode is going to be all about modernizing an old classic. We're going to be putting some upgrades on the Big Bear. Stick around to watch that. Nailed it! So what exactly are we upgrading today? I mean, there's quite a bit of upgrades you can do on a bike that's 40 plus years old, but we're going to concentrate on something that I noticed the other day that I really could use, and it's an upgrade on headlights. I mean, right now there's only one bulb actually working, and I think it's this one. We'll see that later, but I ended up purchasing through Amazon 4 of these nice LEDs, and I actually measured out the receptacles over here, and these should fit right in there nice like that somewhere. But we probably got a whole bunch of bracketry and all that sort of kind of thing to make here. So let's start by ripping into this thing, and the first thing we're going to remove the front rack. Alright, so in order to remove the front carrier rack, we've got a bolt over here on this side, one on that side, and we've got 2 right over here, one here and one on the opposite side as well. Perfect. And these come right up, just like that. We'll set that over here. Okay, next thing we're going to do, remove the front plastics. Alright, so in order to remove the front plastics, we've got a few more things to do. We're going to have to remove 2 screws holding the shift knob in place. And these 3 or 4 screws, sorry, there's one tucked up right back here, on both sides. These I've had soaking and penetrating oil for a little bit. Hopefully that's going to help me. And then after that, we should be pretty clear. Alright, moment of truth here. Let's see if that penetrating oil did anything to try and save these bolts. Oh, we got one. That one's a bit tight, but managed to save it. So that's 4 for 4 on this side. Let's see what we get on the other side. Oh, we got one stripped out. Just a nut so far, we'll see. Moving on to the next one here. Oh, broke this one. I might have spoke too soon. Probably jinxed myself here. But there is something to be said about OEM hardware. It's usually much better than all the aftermarket stuff you end up buying. Got this one out. And we broke that one as well. Hey, so we've got 2 bolts to replace out of 8. I think that's not bad for something that's, like I say, over 40 years old. Now we've got these 2 up here to remove as well. Alright, so one of these has been replaced, I think, over the years. It's got a flathead on it. Like this guy. Nice and easy to remove though. And we got our tumbler setup, I guess. So what I like to do so we don't lose these, and there's still plenty of room for the plastics to go through, is I like to put them back. Nothing worse than losing tiny hardware like this. Now these plastics are nice and loose. Let's get the bolt. And we've got our 3 connections. So we've got our connector obviously for the ignition switch, which by the way, if you guys were watching the last video, and it did it to me again, I gotta really flick the switch back and forth for anything to happen. So what will happen is it'll be cranking over, but it won't fire. And then you can start to smell the gas out the exhaust, which means that your spark plug's not doing its job. So either the ignition is, you know, partially bad, or just a broken connection inside here. We'll check that out in the future, but let's continue by disconnecting the lights. Right into these plugs here. And get them out of the way. And there you go. Wow, that was much easier than I expected. If this was a modern bike, we'd still be taking plastics away. This is what we have. We got a little joggle in this. We got the original bend over here. I just made this one over here. This is how this is going to sit, because this is my plan. So I'm going to cut this top over here just about flush with these 2 little plastic pieces, or these ears that are there already. And then I'm going to have a hole drilled into this piece here. And then my light with the bolt here will sit just like that. This will get secured with the existing hole here, and I'll add another hole on the top right there somewhere, and that should be sturdy enough for a light that weighs, you know, a couple of ounces. So let's finish it up. Okay, so this is what it looks like. I mean, we got all of our holes. Just got to finish up drilling a hole through the plastic over here. Well, let's mock it up here. Have a look at it and see if there's any other adjustments that need to be made. Found a little bit of hardware around the shop. We're just going to put that in a little bit loosely like that. Pop our light in place here. These brackets, by the way, are actually kind of cool, because as you can see, we have lots of adjustment for up and down, and at the same time, because they're slotted, they go side to side, so plenty of adjustment. We're going to be good there. So let's see, throw this nut in place here, snug everything down by hand, and I think it's going to sit right around there somewhere. Obviously still loose, guys, but that's how it's going to sit. I mean, I think that's pretty good, right? Please tell me you like it, because I put quite a bit of effort into this. So either way, it doesn't matter. It's your opinion, but I like it. So just got the other side to do now. All right, I got the other one in place, and this is the final product. Ta-da! I think it looks pretty good. I mean, all we have to do now is do a little bit of wiring in the back. So we're going to put some connectors on here, and we're going to have to go cut the wire harness and do the same on the other end. So this is actually quite straightforward. What I'm going to end up doing is I'm going to take some of these connectors, which I have obviously two different types of connectors in case I need to remove the plastics once again. So I'm going to have a male and a female, and then these ones will end up connecting together just like so, right? So in order for me to never make a mistake again in the future, because it's done, you know, I've done this before, I'm going to put one end, doesn't matter which one, onto the negative side, and I'm going to put the opposite end on the positive side. And that way there, when the other end on the bike, which will be positive and negative here, they cannot be interconnected. They can't be interchanged. And that way there, that's going to prevent me from having any kind of issues later. So let's get to crimping those on. Alright. So there you go. We've got both sides connected. Now let's heat shrink them. Doesn't take much heat, so just go around, get them melted. Don't want to burn anything. Always good to have a fire extinguisher nearby, just in case. Which I do, of course. Now let's get this side. And there you go. Let them cool off. And then you know they're nice and tight. They're not going anywhere. Awesome. So there you go. Now we're ready to put this into the quad. Or, no, we're not. I just realized something. I never tested these. I don't even know if these work. Let me get a battery. Alright, so I don't know how much power I've got in this old battery, but it shouldn't take very much to get one of these LEDs fired up. I'm going to be super disappointed in myself if these are bad. I mean, they shouldn't be because they're brand new. But how upset am I going to be to find out that this doesn't work and it did all this work? This guy here. Okay. Now let's hope we get some sunshine out of this guy. Negative to negative. Nice. So we got some light. And that's with, I don't even know how many volts are left in that battery. But definitely brighter than what was on that before. So we know that one works. Let's try both just in case. So I guess let this be a lesson learned for you guys, and don't, you know, follow what I'm doing here and get all this work done to find out that, hey, you may actually have a bad set of lights. Test them before. Do it right away. Just in case. Because there's an awful lot of work put in this. Okay, let's try this one. Yes. Okay. Woo. Okay, we're good. It could have been really sucky. Okay, so where were we? We can, come on, no? We can now mount this back into the fender and then put the fender back on the bike. So let's do that. Clip in. I don't remember how we did this. There we go. Okay. Yeah, they'll be long enough. They'll be just long enough to make it out of the corner here. All right, we're all tight this side. Now, here we are. Ready to go right back onto the bike. Alright, so like I was saying previously in the video, what we need to determine is, because this is our harness going to the lights, which one of these is going to be high and which one of these is going to be low. And that's kind of the downfall to these LED lights, is that there is no high and low. There's only one filament or one stream of lights, which is basically on or off. So what we need to do now is make a decision which one we're going to use. Now, we're going to check just for fun. I don't think it's going to change, but just to see if we get more voltage on one than the other. Now, I'm going to assume that green is going to be ground. Again, I'm just assuming at this point. I'll show you guys how to check that. And I'm going to probably go with the low either way, because low is the very first detent on the switch here. It'd just be nice and easy to flick it on without having to go through too many detents. So now let's grab our multimeter right here, and to check for ground, what we're going to do is we're going to go to ohm, just like that. If I put these together, you hear the tone. So that tells me whether or not we get a circuit. So now, no, that's the ignition. Let's say, what did I say? Green or black? Let's go with, well, here's black, is this one over here. And then we'll go to a good ground. Listen for a tone. Well, maybe that's not a good ground. Going for a good ground. There we go, we got a tone. So we know that black is our ground. Now that we've established that, we're going to go to volts. And we're going to go at least 12 volts, right? So my multimeter goes 2 to 20, so I'm going to go to 20. I always want to go scale a little bit higher. And this is going to be tough, because now I need to power on the ATV. So I got to kind of hold this up, connect our ignition. Okay, now let's power it on. There we go. So now we're powered on. Okay, now I gotta kind of, I'm gonna stand on this side maybe, just be easier. We're gonna flick the switch to low beam. Now we know black is ground, so let's put our negative onto the black wire, and then we're going to go here. I'll put the multimeter so you guys can see it as well. Let's go to the first one, which is green. So we've got 11.8 volts. Now let's go to the yellow. We got nothing there. So logically speaking, we know that high is going to be the yellow wire, and we've got the same amount of voltage. So there is nothing different. Doesn't matter which one you guys were to choose, you're going to get the same voltage on both sides of that circuit. So, like I said earlier, I'm going to go with the low side of the circuit because it's the first detent. So let's just disconnect this guy. Let's power this off. And this is always the worst part of doing any of this, because I hate like hell to cut off a perfectly good harness, but this is an upgrade, and this is unfortunately what we got to do here. So just in case I ever want to revert back, I always give myself as much as possible at least an inch or two, because that way there I can splice on, or at least solder on, the old connector so I can reuse the lights. So let's go right around here somewhere. And I'm going to do the same thing, approximate length over here. I never like doing that, but I'm going to save these with the rest of the lights. Probably for 25 years, never do anything with them, but I'll have them just in case. Perfect. So what I'm going to do with these guys now is I'm going to cap these off, tape them to the side, because we're not going to use them, and we don't want them to touch any ground if we ever inadvertently put some power to them. And then after that, I'm going to button up the whole front end here, and we're going to go outside, see what the results are. Well, there you have it, guys. We got a little bit of snow actually, but here we have it. We've got the lights on. The bike's not even running, so we don't have a full 12 volts. As you guys could see, we only have about 11.8, 11.9. Not a great battery, but check it out. if we do a side-by-side comparison, so we have before and after, pretty sure it's clear, guys. This is a winner. It was worth the effort. I'm very, very happy with it. I mean, I actually like the look of these things too. They're pretty cool. They look a lot more modern. Definitely going to be able to see better at night. And I won't be able to outrun my headlights now. I mean, this is only a Big Bear after all, but I'm going to end the video here. And as always, thank you guys for watching, and we'll see you all in the next video.